Hello you! Today I'll be showing you how I built a simple TV console from scratch in under 500 rupees. To make the TV console, I'm using some MDF pieces which were left over from a previous project. To make the most of the two plywood pieces that I have, I'm cutting the larger board in half in the shape of an S. First, I'm marking the midpoints at 12-inch widthwise and at 18-inch lengthwise. Then, I'm drawing two 2-inch wide curves bending in opposite directions at the 9-inch mark lengthwise. Cutting the board in half could have been easier, like in a straight line, but I'm not very fond of straight lines and shapes. Now it was time to cut. Next, I'm taking the smaller MDF, which is approximately 24 by 12 inches, and marking it in quarters. Once I have my measurements, I will first cut it in half lengthwise. Then I'll slice one of the halves in two, which will leave me with two 12 by 6 pieces. These two will be my console's supporting beams. From the remaining 24 by 6 inch board, I'll measure and cut out two 2-inch by 6-inch legs. This is what all the cutout pieces look like. Next, I'm sanding all the wood pieces and applying a light coat of varnish using Asian Paint's clear synthetic varnish. The reason I'm applying varnish before the stain is because I don't want the stain to sink too deep into the wood or darken it too much. Once all the pieces are dry, I start assembling them by marking a 3-inch space lengthwise on each side of the bottom shelf. Then I'm attaching the supporting beams, making sure that there is no space between them and the back side of the shelf. This way, the TV console will sit almost flush against the wall. As the experts will always tell you, never skip the pre-drilling process before inserting nails, else the wood can split. And yes, I'm using a pestle instead of a hammer because when I was making this TV console, I didn't still own a hammer. I'm repeating the same process with the top shelf after ensuring that its ends and curves are in line with the bottom shelf. After the assembly is complete, I am applying a thin coat of wood stain with Asian Paint's Wood Tech in the shade Walnut. Since I don't have any edge banding tape, I'm simply priming and painting the borders with a peach-like color that I made by mixing white and a dash of the wood stain. Once the stain and the paint are dry, I'm sealing it all in with a final coat of varnish. This is what the final result looks like. Building this TV console not only cost me a fraction of what buying a first-hand one would have cost me, but it also has been quite an interesting conversation starter with guests. As my skills improved over the pandemic though, I did upscale this console to a fancy glass cabinet, or as we call it, a showcase. Come back next week to see how I did that. Thank you for stopping by today. Consider subscribing to the channel, please. Take care.